So this is just a brief overview of zenconnekt. I briefly spoke about, if you are running short of remaining courses or appointments, because every time you create a course, that sort of deducts, right? Every time you have an appointment, that sort of minuses. You are able to online simply just go and add in a new course or new appointments. We charge, per appointment. It would be 104 for, per course, 100 for an additional course, or 10 Rand per additional appointment. You are able to get a coupon. So we would be, from time to time running promotions on, additional courses and appointments. For example, you would simply add the coupon in, apply, and you would go through the payment gateway as I showed you earlier, and this would be updated for your particular subscription that you have. When it comes to your sales, at all times, you've got a view of your total sales on zenconnekt. So in this case, we've just got it as 54 Rand. It's a test profile of mine, and your available balance, which is available to you, which is 28 Rand, and that is after zenconnekt deducts its fees and so forth. And all you would do is submit a withdrawal request, and you would enter in the information, and you would click submit, and we would then get that information, and we would reach out to you just to validate your banking information, and that we will be doing the transaction, the payout to you. So this is sort of zenconnekt. We hope that we look forward to any questions that you may have. Yeah, I think it open to the floor.
I think before we go into questions, is there anybody in the group that has actually already been exposed to zenconnekt? No? Melissa? Is Melissa on? Melissa, can I just ask that you unmute yourself just for a second, please?
Hi, which Melissa? Because I think there's two of us.
Terra Blanche, yes.
Oh, yes. Okay, perfect.
Right, hi. Just if I can just ask, so you're saying that you briefly looked at zenconnekt.
Yes.
What was it that actually drew you to zenconnekt?
I think personally just the fact that it's everything available in one spot. And this has been, briefly talked about by all three of you, is that, I was keeping a paper diary, like a Gmail diary, an Outlook, everything was just sort of so many papers in so many places. So zenconnekt has really just helped me to sort of modify everything into one space, which has been super helpful. And also with appointments. So starting with my own practice, creating forms and creating all of this and then having to send that out individually. This is great that zenconnekt also allows you to send it from one space. So your clients also sort of become accustomed to this as the modality that you're using, and they sort of have this expectation that they're going to receive, say, an invoice from zenconnekt. So it's everything in one space, which has been incredibly helpful to me, and I'm sure will be helpful to everyone else that's, going on this journey with zenconnekt. So that's been super helpful, and I found clients actually prefer that as well. They feel that everything is sort of done more professionally, instead of getting bits and pieces from a Gmail account or an Outlook account. Everything is coming from one stable platform.
Sure. And Tanya, what about yourself?
So I love also the fact that it's all neat and tidy and everything's under one, very easy to manage times, appointments. I don't literally have to do everything because my time management's chaotic. So it does everything for me. It keeps my time, keeps my bookings. There's not that admin part of it that I have to look at and go into as well. I love the fact that everything's there. Also got me generated in interest that there's an opportunity that the learnings we learn, we can give to others. So we can create context for it, which is brilliant. I'm one of those people that love sharing what I learn. So it might be a nice opportunity to explore. It's just, there's growth, there's development, there's a support team. So that's something else I really like, and that it's secure. For me, the fact that we can have I've got two copies. I've got virtual, I've got the writing part that I do, but I also back it up with technology. But both of those can also fail. So the fact that it's backed up and kept for me, it does make it a lot easier for me as well.
I think one of the things that was really important to us was that aside from having the ability to manage your practice and grow your practice better, as practitioners, we are skilled in doing practice wellness practitioner work, right? It's very often that we don't necessarily have the entrepreneurial skills to actually learn how to grow your business and how to actually manage a business. So that's why zenconnekt, it was critical for us to include Zen Grow. And I think before we go into the questions and answers, I'd like to hand it back to Dishane to quickly just take you through how growing your business actually becomes easier as a wellness practitioner now, not just having everything that you need from an admin perspective under one container or in one container, and growing your network and growing your skill set. It's also about learning how to grow your business in the most effective and efficient way. I'm going to hand it back over to Dishane.
Okay, thanks, Yushini. Can you all see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay, perfect. Now that you've understood, zenconnekt from from a practitioner point of view as well as from a client-facing point of view, we want to, as I alluded to briefly, we want to be able to help you grow your practice, right? No matter whether you are, the size, industry, or sector. That's what we firmly believe in, right? So zenconnekt, as Kashni touched on briefly earlier, has a section called Zen Grow. So within Zen Grow, we looked at, okay, what are the main functions that any business needs to take into consideration? Whether you are a solo practitioner to a large business, for example, you need to understand your finances. How do you engage your people? What is your strategy for your business? Understanding who your customer is, understanding the risks within your practice or your organization, as well as entrepreneurship. So from a business planning point of view, for example. So for purpose of our conversation and for time, I'm cognizant of the time, I'm just going to go through one of these, and I'm just going to choose the customer module for purpose of the demonstration. You would get into this, and Zen Grow has been built in sort of zenconnekt has been built in partnership with YVR, the wellness specialist, as well as BET. BET is a digital business mentoring platform and manager for SMEs, for SME businesses. So, when the opportunity, as I mentioned earlier, came along to actually develop something like zenconnekt and be able to assist with not only managing your practice, but also growing your practice, this was a sort of no-brainer for us, for the lack of a better term, to actually include this and have this for practitioners, because BET is industry agnostic and it focuses around just that. How does a solopreneur or a micro enterprise or an SME grow their practices in this instance? So getting into the module, you would, understanding your customer, you would have a 40 to 60-second video about, the key sort of fundamentals or the concepts around that. You would have a section. So bite-sized learning and coaching or introspective pieces of content that we've developed. And again, language translatable if needs be into over 60 different languages, built into zenconnekt, so you don't need to go to another spot or whatever the case may be. And what we really focus on is that, okay, how do you know your customers, right? Your market segmentation. Have you looked at, the right segment, or are you servicing the right segment? Have you built customer loyalty? How are you building customer loyalty within your practice? How are you selling within your practice, for example? What is your pricing and your promotion for that? Are you measuring your customer satisfaction? I suppose similarly to us, in the services industry, I suppose word of mouth is key, and measuring customer satisfaction is key as well, right? Because you want to be able to also ensure that the service that you are providing is at the right level, at the right customer sort of satisfaction level, so that you do retain that customer and you do get the word of mouth out there. Because I think our industries are very similar in that, right? Creating a customer-centric organization. So, as your practice grows, what are you actually doing to ensure that you are creating a practice that is growing with one vision and one sort of direction, a unified sort of a collaboration, if I can call it that. And then we get into a bit of a summary. Now, this summary is just around key insights from understanding your customer, right? And we then get into a self-assessment. Now, the self-assessment is not to do with any content or learning or whatever the case may be. What the self-assessment basically focuses on is what is actually happening within your practice. So are you researching your market, for example? Do you have staff? Do you have documented processes? Do you interview your customers for feedback? Do you have do you have your segmented market, for example? And depending on the module, you would have 10 to 20 questions. And for purposes of our conversation now, I'm just going to mark everything as no, and I'm going to submit this. And what this actually does, it provides you with a tailored action plan for developmental areas within your practice. So sometimes it provides a suggested tool or template. Sometimes it's just a coaching tip. And you are able to then use that in conjunction with, for example, the tool and template that's provided or the coaching tip to help address these areas within your practice, right? And what we then also further provide is a repository, as Keshni mentioned earlier, of tools and templates. Now, there's a lot of, or there's some of these that may not be applicable because, as I mentioned, BET specifically or Zen Grow within zenconnekt has been designed to be industry agnostic. So goal planning, partnership agreements, employment contracts, price lists, invoicing templates, again, delivery notes, fully sort of customizable and downloadable for you to actually, sort of customize to your business. So you are able to get a repository of over 50 plus templates that you could download to use within your business, right? Or your practice. And then what we have within the Zen Grow is my action plan history, because it's important to understand and have a dipstick of where you started versus where you are at a future point in time, right? So what my action plan history does is it provides exactly that. It provides you with a repository of any assessments that you would have taken, and the time, who took the sort of assessment, and you could actually view that particular sort of action plan. And this is great because you are able to see, the progression or the success that you've had at, addressing the developmental areas or what you need to further work on as you go through these assessments within Zen Grow. So yeah, that's just a bit on the Zen Grow section. Completely out now if you sort of isolate it from the practitioner side, using this now internally within your business to help, or your practice to help it grow.
Great, thanks. I think it's critical for everybody to have this kind of support, especially when you are an entrepreneur. We don't always know how to actually grow our businesses, but I think, it becomes something that can support. And I see there's questions coming through already. Melissa asked, with new clients, would you send them the link to zenconnekt to search for you and book directly? Or what is the best way to share this with potential new clients?
Okay, I can answer that. So let me share my screen again and show you quickly. So let's go to Zen directly. Tell me when you see my screen.
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, so let me just search for myself quickly. All you would do, Melissa, is share this link. Once you're on your profile, share that link. And that link would basically take whoever you give that link to. As you can see, it's heavily encrypted. Apologies for that. That's not my sort of spelling of my name, but we had to do it from an encryption point of view. You would just share that link, and that link would basically, if I just copy and paste it into another browser, that link would open up into my profile or your profile, for example. There we go.
Okay, amazing, fantastic. Thank you so much.
And then you would basically have, wherever your client is or potential client would have access to your availability, your calendar. If you don't set any availability, you wouldn't have a calendar that would show up. It would just basically be your bio information and whatever documentation. So client intake forms, you could be adding your qualifications. You could add social media icons as well to this, so your socials, your LinkedIn, and so forth. So this could be fully customizable to you, but this is where you would get that link from.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much.
Sure.
I see there's another question around invoicing clients monthly. Is it possible to invoice your clients monthly?
So if I may take that as well, yes, you can. You would just need to, you can set a reminder for you to do that, but we don't have automated monthly invoicing, but you can invoice as and when you require. But you could also create invoices at future dates as well. So if we go to the dashboard, you could perhaps maybe do this for your clients. If you know that you are going to be invoicing them on a monthly basis, you could just create the invoice and have future dated invoice dates on the invoices to help you with that. So you could basically select end of September and you could get into end of October, for example, and it would automatically, every time you do an invoice, it would automatically generate the unique invoice number so that that's not editable. So you're still able to keep an audit trail of that, and you're able to have an invoice at a future date as well for that particular client, for that particular product or item, but that is linked to your inventory. The inventory doesn't only relate to a product that you're selling, it could be a service as well. So you could be selling, and I'm just, just throwing it out there, maybe a card reading, for example, tarot card reading. You could have it as an inventory item and it would have a specific price. You could discount that, you could add, any taxes or whatever the case may be, and you could invoice that as well. So you're not only limited to product sort of items, but it could be services as well that you want to invoice for, that you ordinarily won't want to sort of have others accessible to have access to, if that makes sense. And come end of the financial period or whatever the case may be, for those of you with around taxes, you are able to then just look at all your invoices and you're able to give that sort of invoice to your accountant or use that for your books.
Keshni, I see you've got your hand raised.
Yeah, I just wanted to add on that point, the inventory is great for those packages as well. 4-session packages, 6-session packages, a package that maybe includes sessions as well as a toolkit like a mindfulness manual or a how-to manual. So these are fantastic as well. And it's nice for you to be able to track that. In a month, I made 6 sessional bookings. However, 8 clients actually booked my packages. So it gives you a very good view of what your clientele needs as well.
And to add to that, Keshni, I think that's a good point, because on the dashboard now, as you see us going through it, you could actually see top selling inventory items. So if you have those packages, you could actually see package A with 6 sessions, how many sold, who your recent clients were, your CPD points to date, for example, any top selling courses, if you've got 5 or 10 courses on, you could understand which are the top selling courses, the last invoices, we created this invoice together. You are able to see exactly your last 10 invoices. So it really gives you a snapshot of your practice in its sort of entirety, if that makes sense.
Great, thanks. So what happens in a case where if you already have a bank account that clients are paying into, can you just send the invoice from here and record that they have paid? Because that would be the bank account that you list then, right?
Is that a question
Yes.
for me, Eugenie?
Yes.
Yes, yes, you would. So you would basically invoice them, as sort of unpaid until the money is in that bank account, because sometimes people would not pay through the payment gateway, but they would pay, manually, for items that are invoiced, and you would then just update that status of that invoice to paid, for example. And let me show you. So this unpaid invoice, if once updated to paid, would then go into this, and you would have a paid status. So you are then able to see exactly, okay, what's still outstanding, what do I have to follow up on, or what is partially paid. You're able to have a handle on that.
Great, thank you. Kesh?
Yeah, if I could just add on that point. So this takes your services on the go as well. Because if you are doing markets, or if you're at a different place, maybe at an expo, and you've made that sale, maybe on a Yoko device or whatever it might be, it hasn't yet cleared, you can actually utilize this tool to be able to track that and still send a paid invoice. Is that what you're saying, Dushan?
Yes, correct. So you could still, if you accept it on the Yoko device, you could, while you're standing, that's something I should have actually mentioned, my apologies, that the way you see zenconnekt on your PC is actually being developed to be on your phone, your laptop, your tablet. So it's built responsively. So you are able to, because it's web-based, you are able to access zenconnekt 24/7, and you are able to create those invoices, be it at an expo or whatever the case may be, at a flea market, real time, and send it through once the payment is cleared. Correct.
Kesh?
I just want to add again, this tool is also great for like perspectives, right? So if I'm at a networking session and someone says, I'd really like to be a client of yours and I want you to take me on, when Dishen showed us the My Clients, to be able to load them on there. Because how many times do we actually take down a number and then we don't have a reference point for who that person actually is. We can't remember to follow up with them. So it really is very comprehensive, even for that.
Correct.
I think I'm going to open it up to the floor now. Are there any other questions? Thank you, Melissa. Thank you. From anybody else? Do we have any other questions around how technology could be used to actually grow your wellness practice? Okay, I think you know, as we wrap up today's session, I think, you know, firstly, I want to thank everybody for attending and for making yourself available on a Sunday afternoon, you know, dedicating this time to us as well as to the growth of your own practice. I think it's admirable, firstly. And secondly, I think, you know, just being on the journey to this entrepreneurial journey can sometimes be a little bit lonely. And we don't often think that there is a support system in place. And one of the things we were very deliberate around zenconnekt with is about, in fact, creating a support community that helps you get through this journey of being an entrepreneur, as well as being able to expand yourself as you are creating an impact in the environment that you are working in. So I think, you know, as we journey together and as we walk down the road, you know, just know that zenconnekt is a solution for you. I think we've been very clear around how we wanted to support zenconnekt with the way we built zenconnekt and what we were impactfully trying to pursue. So from my end, I want to thank everybody for attending, and I really hope to walk this journey with you and to help you grow your practice. You know, not just from a personal perspective, but also from an impact perspective in the community that you're operating in. That's it from my side. Thank you very much. Kesh, I'm going to hand back over to you.
Yeah, so just to reiterate, everybody, we thank you for your time. We appreciate, you know, you spending Sunday afternoon with us. But more importantly, thank you for all the work that you're doing out there. The community, South Africa and globally, you are needed. And we want you to know that. And we hope that you find your pods of joy as you navigate through the Sunday. So from us and our families and zenconnekt, have a wonderful weekend, and let's hope the week ahead is filled with all sorts of amazing opportunities for all of you. Thank you for joining us, everyone. Goodbye.
True. Thank you. Bye.